Gabe, we are in 2026. We are into the offseason now. We are rolling these things over. Jay Henney's doing the same thing. 10 by 10, super flex, 0.5 PPR. You guys are 2 tight ends, not a tight end in sight. Are you sending away Travis Hunter and 106 for Omarion Hampton?
Man, give me Travis Hunter and the 106.
Oh, baby, let's talk about it.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
Welcome in to the All Gas Trade Show. I'm Ty Declare 44. I am joined as always by Gabe at iGabe_FF on X. Happy 2026. So we've been in off-season mode here for a couple weeks now, right, Gabe? Like the fantasy season is done. We are in the NFL playoffs. We're waiting for the true NFL offseason to start, but it's time to take over some orphans, join some startups, make some trades. How are you doing, my friend?
Speaking of orphans, man, I think I've already picked up a couple and gotten into a startup too. So we're rocking and rolling into the offseason here on this side.
Let's go. Yeah, I picked up technically an orphan. It was the Ballers League put on by our guy, Not Great Bob, aka Brian, where the teams were all drafted for us. So I took over an orphan along with 11 other league mates, and now we have to make our teams work. That's been a very, very active league. But hey, it's been good to push pause on the point scoring and just really start to dig in and dive into team construction, philosophy, everything that's happened. So I know the people of DDFFB have been doing this along with us. I still see people in VC all damn day. If you want to be part of that group, patreon.com/allgas gets in the community. DDFFB, DDFantasyFootball.com gets you into the website. There's been a lot of facelifts happening over there. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you do. New Trinity tool updates. We got mock drafts, ADP, rookie rankings, everything rolling on that site now. So again, DDFantasyFootball.com. You can sign up for a free account and get access to the mock draft simulator. Do mocks in DDFFB. This is going to be awesome. We also have the Trades and Chill tier on YouTube. Let's go. $3.99 a month US, an extra toonie if you're Canadian, gets you access to the Dynasty Deal Show, Trinity, and everything else we got rolling over at DDFFB. But Gabe, people aren't here to listen to me talk. They are here to talk some deals and mostly hear what you had to say on this. So you said you want Travis Hunter and 103. I don't blame you. But let's talk about it because I've been pumping Travis Hunter last offseason, really expecting high expectations. I really did. It was one of those things, if the rubber meets the road, if the situation is right, I can see this being prime for something great, but didn't happen. We'll see what
we had flashes. We did have flashes.
We did. Dynasty Deal Show last night, Scott brought up the point that the Jaguars, their biggest need is cornerback. So I have no sweet clue what the plan is for Travis Hunter, but in a 10 by 10 super flex, Hampton, probably the best player in the deal. I'd hope he's the best player in the deal based on the deal structure. But Travis Hunter and 106 for Omarion Hampton. So talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, so I know that it's shallow enough, right, towards where you could probably convince me the other way. And typically, we talk about like those shallower leagues, the pick value from a quarterback standpoint kind of pushes the positional players down, right? Because in a 10 by 10, you're not desperately needing a quarterback, right? And so it's going to obviously push the positional players up a little bit, right? And so, but I think in this league, Travis Hunter, to your point, is a guy that I really believe is going to continue to ascend in this offense, right? And so Jacoby Myers now there, it's been good, but Brian Thomas Jr. really hasn't seen the volume that we were wanting and hoping and, expecting, right? And so I still believe that they view Travis Hunter as their top end option there in Jacksonville, right next to that Jacoby Myers, because Jacoby Myers has been really good there. Whereas, Hampton on the other side, Ty, I mean, Hampton's had a couple of flashes as well, just like Travis Hunter, but it hasn't been all that great either. Like if we sit there and again, he's had a couple of good games with a lot of passing volume, but from a running efficiency, it hasn't been, amazing, if you will. Like it wasn't like he just completely changed the game in LA. Even in the playoff game, I think he had one carry. And again, I know that he was dealing with a little bit of an injury. So right now, I think what I would want to do with that 106, and it is just coming down to the 106 of it all, what I feel like I can make with that trade or with that pick, if you will, as the offseason continues to progress, as we continue to get into the offseason, I think I'll be able to do more than that than just having, Omarion Hampton on the other side. And I still have a guy in Travis Hunter that I believe can still ascend in value as well.
It's crazy how we've gotten to the point where like Hunter is like the addition to the deal. He's not like the main piece of the deal, like the main reason I'm doing it, right? Because I agree, like 106, that feels like a good line in the sand to try to buy into, like 106 and above. If you can do it right now, right? For on the cheap, get a Travis Hunter thrown in. I think the sticking point for me is just 10 by 10. We're really shallow. Hampton, the top 25 player in Dynasty. I think Travis Hunter's fallen out of grace. I think you'll have people who just have zero interest in Hunter. Some who are going to make their speculative bets. And again, we know what a lot of the streets are saying about the 2026 class. It really hasn't taken a lot for people to already start to come back around and say, well, it's not too bad. Well, maybe if I squint here, I can see that, so we did this every year, Gabe,
Exactly.
With what I know today, I'm going to lean Hampton just because I think he's the best player in the deal, and 10 by 10, I can see myself having a smattering of options that I can do to replace Travis Hunter at wide receiver. 106, you're probably looking at like one of the wide receivers that are going to, like, maybe a first round wide receiver, maybe a high second running back, something like that. Maybe a quarterback pops in there, right? So it's a good pick to have. I think I'm just going to lean Hampton and bet that I can replace whatever I'm going to get on that end. But for Jay Henney, he not only has 1 second and 2 fourths this year, but an extra 27 first in his pocket. The team is now Dak, Stroud, Stafford, Hampton, Saquon, Harvey, Warren, Pollard, Braylon, Tracy, and backups, Chase, Lamb, Nico, Tet, and Njoku, Likely, and Juwan. Looking at that team, I can understand why, we might want to try to maybe add another wide receiver, get a pick. But I mean, the team was pretty nice even before, so getting Hampton really makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, again, context does matter, right? And we say that all the time. There's a higher possibility. And again, from a value standpoint, I'm still going to lean the Travis Hunter on the 106 side just because of what I believe you could do with that pick. However, whenever you add in the team, right, Travis Hunter is probably hardly ever going to make this lineup with Chase, Lamb, Nico, and Tet, right? Whereas Hampton on the other side, he will likely enter this lineup immediately. And that's where it really does make a difference, right? And so to your point, you were mentioning with the 106, you're probably looking at a guy like Carnell Tate or something like that, right? And so one of the wide receivers in that range, right? And so looking at it right now, you don't need another wide receiver. You're going to need a running back for this team. And rightfully so, I believe, again, Hampton is a good option to have in that. So with the context, I'll probably lean Hampton now. But again, just from a pure value standpoint, I did like the Travis Hunter and the 106 side, just from what I believe that value can accrue into. Yeah.
I mean, it's a start 2 tight end, right? So maybe that Sadiq, I think Sadiq probably ends up climbing higher as we get a little over our skis this offseason, right? So I'm curious, what is it going to be there at 106? But hey, I love it when we see things differently right off the bat. That's a good thing. What do the people think for this opening deal? You want Hampton? Do you want Travis Hunter and 106 and a 10 by 10? Start 2 tight ends, 0.5 PPR. You let us know. Hen, from Henny to Hen, Hen Rizzler, 87, brings us a 12-team start 10 super flex 2.0 tight end premium. 27 picks in this deal. So starter ranks 4th and 10th, both in the bottom 4 in terms of overall value on Dynasty Daddy. So again, 12 by 10 super flex. Hen sent away Jaden Daniels, 104, 201, and 301. You got Dak Prescott, Chase Brown, and not 1, but 2 2027 firsts. Gabe, we are not reinventing the wheel here when we say 2027. People are going to want picks in that class, and generally people want 27 picks over 26 picks. Do you have a line? Pretty easy. Do you have a line in terms of like 2026 pick value where you are just straight re-rolling for a random 27 first, aka is 104 that line for you? And how do you feel on this deal?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was going to say, I think 104, 105 is probably my cutoff where I'm starting to look towards next, kicking the can down the road to next year, especially because the hype that 27 class has on it, man, is absolutely insane. So, yeah, I think for me, Ty, that cutoff is 104, 105 right now. So,
yeah,
kind of looking at the deal in totality, I think it's a savvy deal from Henry. I think it's a really savvy deal because from a quarterback standpoint, you're not really, again, Jaden Daniels is probably going to outscore Dak, maybe, but I think week to week, it could be very close. The delta between those two guys is probably going to be a lot closer than most people think. Because again, Dak played lights out this year, man. He was fantastic this year. Chase Brown, again, very good running back too in Cincinnati. And so sneakily getting those projected because anything can happen, right? But the 102, 104 right now in 2027, man, the hauls that those picks are going to get you next year are nothing like what the 104 right now is going to get you this year. Mm-hmm. So that's really where, for me, it starts to kind of separate, like the deal starts to separate itself a little bit. So immediately, I mean, if we need to play the cross-off game, right? Because that's the game that we love to play. 201, 301, or Chase Brown?
Chase Brown.
Okay, I'm right there with you. I am right there with you. Let's just take the 104, right? So if there's a delta now, let's try to combine the package together. So Dak and Chase Brown for the 104, 201, and 301.
Dak and Chase Brown for 104, 201, 301.
Yep. So we already said Chase Brown over the 201 and 301. Yeah. So there's a little bit there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take the Dak side still.
Okay. And then too early 27 first for Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. That's the price you're probably gonna have to pay for someone who was a top 4 pick in Dynasty. Some people's 101 last offseason.
Oh yeah. That's a fantasy darling there.
Injuries, frustrations, it changes so quickly, right? I'm even looking at it from a different perspective, man. Like Dak Prescott and a 27 first for Jaden Daniels. I think that's a smash for the Dak side.
Yeah. Right? I mean, again, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially the way that, again, Dak's been playing.
Yeah. You got Chase Brown, a 27 first for 104, 201, 301. Again, I'll just take the Chase Brown of it all. Team context probably makes this even easier. So Burrow, Dak, Cousins, backups, Chase Brown, Swift, Jalen Warren, Braylon, Ramondre, Corum, Sampson, Caleb, Ollie, Connor, Mixon, Neighbors, Burden, Tyreek, Mooney, Ridley, Fannin, Kittle, and Sanat. He has 101, 401, 327 first, 2 seconds, and 327 thirds. I mean, man, looking at this lineup, like he had he had Cousins, Burrow, and Daniels, and then some backups. I feel like moving off Daniels makes your Cousins more active. You still get a replacement player in Dak who, production-wise, shouldn't be that far off of Jaden Daniels if there even is like a weekly difference right now. You have more rushing upside with Jaden Daniels, and hopefully that whole situation turns around. I would love that. But for what we know today, yeah. And then you add Chase Brown to that running back room. I think that makes a lot of sense. You still have 101. You kick out 104. You pocket 227 first. You have 3 going into the offseason. I like this a lot, Hen. I really do. Do you have any other thoughts on this team, this deal, anything in between?
No. I think like I said, I think it's a savvy deal for Henry, right? Again, I think at surface level, some people may lean the Jaden Daniels side, but I think once you start to kind of put names there and start to put pieces together and what those picks could get you next year, I think it's a really savvy deal, man.
Nice. Sweet. Good up, Hen. And we'll see you on the next one. All right. We got Now I'm going to have to switch over to our Spanish consultant here. El Peludo.
You got it, brother. I mean, you are the Spanish guy here.
Yeah, I'm what is that, something armadillo? I don't know what I did last time, but
I think we need to stop there. I think you said that you pronounced it correctly. Let's just
let's take the win.
Let me give you your flowers and let's just keep it moving.
Okay. Does El Peludo mean anything?
It does, but it does not mean armadillo.
Oh, well, duh.
Well, I mean, technically, I mean, peludo means hairy, right? So like the hairy one, kind of. Right. And so, I mean, again, you're the one that's telling me this, right? What does peludo mean?
The hairy armadillo. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, not that.
Anyways, El Peludo brings us 2 deals in a 12-team start 10 to reflect PPR. First deal. We are sending away CJ Stroud, old Jarquez Hunter in 307 for 1 103. So this first deal, he was looking to liquidate Stroud. His remaining running back room is Lamar, Stafford, Mac Jones, Willis, and Flacco. Lower end backups are generally available on waivers. Is this the right move? So, Gabe, if you're in a league where you have access to quarterback, you can play any quarterback on a 2-deep game. You already have Lamar, Stafford, and some nice backups. Is that something where you're looking to send away Stroud, Hunter, and 3-7 to get to the 103? Are you on the other side where you're trying to maybe just like play the quarterback game and bet you can get something better than the 103? How do you feel in a 12x10 Superflex?
Ty, I'm trying to not be vindictive right now, because I don't know if you watched this past weekend with CJ Stroud, but I felt like I almost said put in Davis Mills, Ty.
Wow.
I mean, it was horrible, dude. It was absolutely abysmal. Thankfully, Houston has a good defense, and so we are now in the next round. But to answer your question, I'm trying to put my my recency bias aside a little bit to say like Stroud is still a good quarterback. He's still a good quarterback. I'm still going to take the 103 though, especially in the context of the league, right? Lamar, Stafford, Ty, week to week, man. You're always going to start Lamar no matter what, right? Lamar is just a guy that you're just going to live and die by the sword on. There's going to be weeks where he gives you 5,000 points, and there's going to be games where he gives you 2 points, right? Like it's just the reality of the situation, right? And so I would say the lower scoring games are probably a lot farther and few between. But this year, he did have a couple of really low performing games, right? And so I'm fully bought in, though. I know that he's going to be he's going to bounce back, right? I guess is really what I'm trying to say. Stafford, though, week to week, I know he's getting older, but I feel like we say that every year about this guy. And look at what he just did, man. Devontae Adams, we had talked about it in the offseason last year about how we thought Devontae Adams was really going to open up this offense. And guess what? The offense was absolutely blown open. And so week to week for me, I'm just not going to know who to start between Stafford and CJ Stroud, because I do believe that, a week to week, I think either one of them could outscore each other. I'm probably more than likely, based on this year's performance, I would be starting Stafford every week. So what do you do with that CJ Stroud, right? Last thing you need is for him to get injured, and then you're just holding on to an asset that really is never touching your lineup. So for me, I would absolutely like to liquidate and get into a 103 and just kind of see what lands to me there in the rookie draft. Or as hype continues to build, then you can move it into something that's already playing right now in the NFL, if you will.
Yeah. I'm looking at JB's tiers right now. He's got CJ Stroud in line with the 105. So
yeah, there you go.
Pure value, JB would be on the 103 side as well. Jarquez Hunter 307. That's not the reason I'm doing or not doing a deal. So that's just fluff, right? It is 103 for CJ Stroud. And I agree, right? If the goal is to liquidate Stroud to open up this quarterback room and do something different, I'm cool with it. There's a chance you get, Mendoza at 103, right? So maybe you're looking at a very similar option, or again, maybe it's a roll into a wide receiver, a different position. Like you have flexibility. You don't have to make that pick. I bet that as we move into the offseason, the 103 is going to have value ascension. I can't say the same for CJ Stroud. It would be more about like what happens around Stroud that could boost up Stroud versus the ascension we know the 103 will have as we move through the Senior Bowl, the Combine, and the draft. Knowing all that, knowing probably what this team needs and what moves this team forward, I'll take the 103. Also at 103, again, you could have access to a wide receiver, and that is what El Peludo wanted to do in his second deal. So, because I lack high-end wide receiver production, decided to split Tet nevertheless to be more flexible and hope for some rookie fever to spread despite a lower class. He feels the hate on the 26 picks has gone too far. I feel like that's been kind of our undertone context for most of our shows here for the last month or so.
Oh, yeah.
So now, again, we just pocketed 103. We got rid of Stroud. Now we send away Tet McMillan. We get T. Higgins in 106. How do you feel on that split?
I mean, I think this is a smash. Again, I like Tet a lot, man. I really do. I really like Tet a lot. But I will tell you, T. Higgins is very, very damn good, too. He's very, very damn good. And if you're giving me a 106 also that I can play with in the offseason, yes, please. Like I said, because I could potentially get two high-end wide receivers as well, right? Like obviously T. Higgins and the 106 being the two. for Tet, which again is great. But again, week to week, man, you just don't know. I think T could outscore Tet. You know what I mean? And so you're giving me also another piece to kind of play with. I'm going to take T Higgins in the 106, man, pretty comfortably.
Yeah, this feels like a fairly straightforward process deal.
This is like someone who just despises 2026 picks.
Yeah, take a step down, do whatever I can. Like it feels like this is like that should be like a 206 or like a future second. Like you're paying a second for preference. I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
106, that's not how I really want to use my 106. So, tell you what, man, bang, you did it. Keep doing it this offseason. Yeah, that's all I got to say, El Peludo. You go be a hairy armadillo this offseason, and good luck to you. All right, friend of the show, Brandon, aka BG-C, brings us 2 deals. A 12x12 Superflex tight end premium lineup league, and both these deals are in the same league. First one, Jackson Dart and 106 for Jalen Hurts and 104. With the New York Giants fan making a bet at quarterback, a slight down tier to pick for a quarterback swap. In general, Gabe, play or take Hurts or Jackson Dart, and is it worth it to move around the board a little bit? Again, it's really preference, and then just like rolling over a little bit, a couple picks in the draft. But how does that math out for you?
I mean, that's kind of interesting. It's really interesting. This one's hard, man. This one's hard for me because I think I still want to go with Jalen Hurts, right? Just because he's a been there, done that kind of guy. But Jackson Dart was really good, man. And he showed some really, really, really good flashes this year. And I'm kind of excited. I think did they officially announce it's going to be Harbaugh as the head coach?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of excited to see what that landscape looks like. I know Philly's in shambles right now, man. Yeah. Philly is in shambles right now. And I don't know what that situation looks like with AJ Brown. I don't know what that situation looks like with Sirianni. Like I have no idea what they're doing out there. So I can appreciate Brandon here making a bet on his team, on the organization, and on the quarterback here. So I think for me, you know what? Let's get crazy. I'll side with Brandon on the Jackson Dart. I'll lean a little bit, but again, it's very, 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 very close. Very close.
Yeah. So that this is how Brandon wins this deal. The New York Giants organization, the Harbaugh hire, it creates more steam, more excitement. The 22-year-old Jackson Dart expectations get raised. ADP gets raised, and he kind of corrects the value. I think looking at fantasy calc, Jalen Hurts is the 7th overall quarterback, 19th overall. Dart is the 10th overall quarterback, 24th overall player. So yeah, you're not in too wide of a range, but also there's about 10 other quarterback names you can kind of throw in that range, right? Maybe as we move through the draft season and we get to like the draft pick tiers, 104 and 106 end up being pretty much the same thing, and you let the guy in front of you make the choice, and you just take the thing that falls to you, and you get the better player in the end of the day. Like I could see that happening, and then you get the younger quarterback, the quarterback of your organization. You do it with what I know, like right here today. I'm still just going to lean Hurts and the 104. Like Hurts isn't old.
Set it straight.
Yeah. Right. Again, like it did feel like maybe the Eagles took like a step away from the tush push. They tried again, like they've been able to work in like different plays off of the tush push formation as well. So I could always see that, becoming less and less of a mainstay in the offense, but I still think Jalen Hurts is going to rush. He's going to score touchdowns. He's going to do his thing. So 12x12 super flex lineup, just give me the better pick. I'll take Hurts.
And that's what I was going to say too, right? I said Jalen Hurts for Jackson Dart. I said Jackson Dart, but it's the 104 too. Like I'd rather have my own pick than make the pick that somebody's giving me, if you will.
Right. 100%. It also feels one of those things. Hey, what happens when Jackson Dart gets a concussion next year? Because he's going to. Just what happens when he does? Like does the community overreact?
Yeah, I was going to say, or what happens when Cam Scadaboo's back?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Christian McCaffrey 2.0 out there.
Hey, please keep your legs on straight, Scadaboo. Please. But again, BG-C brought us 2 deals. So he wasn't done. That's not Jarquez Hunter in a late third again, paired with Dalton Kincaid. And old Brandon got George Kittle and 210. So George Kittle, the Achilles bug got him. Rest up, big dog. He got us the speed bridge. So, there's hope that he's going to be back for training camp. What will he be? How explosive, all that questions still need to be answered. Good luck to you, George. I hope you enjoyed that bottle of tequila you took down after the game. And yeah, just hoping the best for him. But George Kittle and 210 for Dalton Kincaid, Jarquez Hunter and 306. So again, 12 by 12, right? So depth does matter. You're getting a healthy tight end for one with currently one Achilles. A pick upgrade, Jarquez Hunter and 3.6 for 210. I don't know. What does the math abacus say here, Gabe? Well, what side wins value wise, and what would you do?
I mean, look, at this point, man, I'm really, really battling with George Kittle because he is already a aging tight end, right? And I know that there's optimism, but I'm just not buying in that he's probably going to be playing not at all next year, but it's probably going to be a little bit later into the season, And so for that reason, the 210 doesn't move the needle for me, man, especially I'm just going to take Dalton Kincaid, who, again, has been very good with Buffalo. I'm just going to take him, man, and just hope for the best.
Yeah. 26-year-old tight end versus a 33-year-old tight end.
Coming off an Achilles injury, likely to miss, majority of the year. Yeah. Really, you're not looking at Kittle coming back until he's almost 35, fully healthy. And that's what Kelsey is right now, right? And people don't want Kelsey.
Knowing how Kittle plays, I could see him being more focused as a blocker, as a pawn in the offense until he is back. So he's probably, if we're being honest, he's probably a late 2026 play at best right now, right?
Yeah.
I have hope, but that is what we should probably go with. And if you're telling me that, yeah, I'll shift to Dalton Kincaid if I'm just trying to fill up my tight end room for this week. And I can bet that if Kittle doesn't start hot, that there's going to be a window in season where I can pick him up for even cheaper. But
yeah,
right now,
I think that's a great point.
But also right now, it's probably the cheapest we're going to get Kittle, if we're being honest. Middle of the offseason, turning 33-year-old tight end with an Achilles. That's probably the cheapest we're going to get him. So, there's windows, but which window do you want to attack? So,
but he was already an asset that you were only wanting on your team if you were competing, And so I think at this point, I think for me, normally it doesn't, but the age factor for me plays such a big part, man, in this, because again, just what I think he's going to become when he gets back. Kittle's best days are probably behind him at this point now. And if you're telling me that I'm still able to get a potential really good option at the tight end position, it's pretty easy for me.
Yeah. Jarquez Hunter, he'll need some things to clear up in front of him. If the opportunity does come, you're going to want the running back in the LA Rams offense. So I get it. Still get a shot at 3.6. So we'll see. Good job, Brandon. Hopefully these two deals work out for you. Definitely, again, we could have done a whole show just with Brandon deals from the last week or so. So I'll get Brandon back on the show here soon.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk some more Kittle.
All right.
Mendeleev, aka Trying 2. 12 team, start 10. It's a one quarterback, aka no super flex. Tiered PPR. So 1.15 for maybe it's 1.25 for running backs, 1 point for wide receivers, and 1.75 for tight ends. It's a 0.25 point per carry. It's a 0.25 passing first down, a 0.75 rushing first down, and a 0.5 receiving first down. So wide receivers a little bit depressed. There's some juice. The running backs, tight ends are nice. So Mendeleev here sends away George Kittle, sends away Bijan Robinson in a one quarterback league, and 212. Gets Christian McCaffrey, AJ Brown, and Colston Loveland. Just did this minutes ago. We did this last night on a championship team going for the repeat in 2026. So Gabe, 12 by 10. Man, Bijan in a one quarterback league. That's hard to math.
I mean, he's the best player in fantasy football.
Easily. Gabe, CMC and Colston Loveland for Bijan.
Dude, catch me on a good day, and I will, from a value perspective, yes, it's probably Bijan, but I will tell you, Bijan is likely the 101 in a single quarterback league, right? But you know who can outscore Bijan Robinson, it's the man on the other side.
Yeah.
And so if I'm going for it in 2026, Christian McCaffrey and Colston Loveland, give me Christian McCaffrey and Colston Loveland over Bijan. Like I said, just because of what Christian McCaffrey can do for my team, and I'm still getting a very high end tight end who has really shown a lot of really good things, especially recently with Caleb Williams. And that offense has really taken a step forward, man. Caleb's looked really, really good too. So, yeah, man, Christian McCaffrey, Colston Loveland, pretty comfortably for me.
Yeah, because when I zoom out, I agree, right? Yes, Christian McCaffrey's turning 30. Yes, he is a running back. Yep. So, John, we don't want to put the oomph behind him. Bijan is, literally the 101 of one quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
But when you look at the totality of the deal, man, if you are okay with giving up the value at running back and moving into CMC, making a bet that, yes, he might be a little bit slower. Yes, he did have to absorb the health of all of his league mates and teammates to get through this year. Yes, he did do that. If you're okay with that, I sure as hell want Colston Loveland over George Kittle by a wide margin. I'll definitely take AJ Brown over 212 in this depressed league. So if you're okay with the running back swap, this is a smash. But again, it is a big price to pay to give up Bijan Robinson. So it is interesting how that all kind of comes out. Does George Kittle even really factor into your equation of this?
No, not really, right? Because I mean, even if we were to look at it, right? I kind of had mentioned it before, but like George Kittle on the 212 for Colston Loveland doesn't even sniff Colston Loveland. Doesn't even sniff him. So then you're telling me Christian McCaffrey, AJ Brown, and the delta of the other side for Bijan Robinson. Look, man, I get it. But there's a reason why we call it ADV, because it's artificial, right? It is a value that we perceive in our heads week to week. Bijan Robinson or Christian McCaffrey, if you had to pick one player each week, you wouldn't know who to pick because they can outscore each other every single week. And honestly, the way that they were playing this year, I feel like most people would probably pick Christian McCaffrey week over week. Mm-hmm. Him and Bijan, man, are just such difference makers. And the only difference here is just the age aspect of it. And if you're still gunning for it in 2026 with the team, you're getting plenty of assets that can plug and play into your lineup. And that's just what I'm going to continue to do, man.
Yeah. I think the only argument really is just we are in January. So we're not scoring points until September. Colston Loveland is definitely a nice piece to have. But Bijan is definitely the most flexible, the most sought after piece. Like, do you think there's something else you could do? Or is this one of those deals where, hey, it's in my inbox, I'm not going to fluff around, I'm just going to go get it?
I mean, I think I mentioned it on our last show, Ty, where I think right now, man, is probably the perfect time to make a move like this. And I say this because in the offseason, right, you mentioned it just a second ago, in the offseason, typically people are going to want the younger assets. People are going to want the picks and the young guys, whereas the veterans kind of get a little suppressed in value, right? A little bit. They're like, oh, Christian McCaffrey's turning 30. I don't want that guy. Ty, I don't believe, man, that this deal would have been available 3 weeks ago. If you're a championship team, or you're in the semis right now trying to make a move, nobody's going to be selling their Christian McCaffrey, AJ Brown, and Colston Loveland for Bijan Robinson. In season, man, this deal just doesn't happen, in my opinion, because of the points that these guys are scoring week in and week out, right? And so that's where, for me, right now, I feel like it's probably one of the better opportunities. And I think I mentioned it on the last show, like what I'm trying to do right now is if people are wanting to sell their veterans for cheap, I'm trying to go buy those veterans for pretty cheap, because again, week in and week out, these guys are going to be the ones that score you points next year.
100%. Well said. Mandelev. Yeah. Again, you're probably not going to find like a cheaper way to get into McCaffrey, AJ Brown, Loveland, 12 by 10. So I do hope that it's not a thing where you're now kind of putting yourself into a roster pretzel that you have to continue to figure out. But I mean, that's a decent split for Bijan getting off of Kittle and the 212. So I can't hate it.
Well, and so let me ask you real quick, one more thing before we jump, right? Yeah. Is Bijan, from just a pure value perspective, probably worth what, like 3 firsts?
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
Christian McCaffrey, though, in season, you weren't selling him for a single first.
And I'm still not selling for like a single first. If I'm being like a 27 first that's the baseline of that starts the conversation for CMC for me.
Yeah. And it's probably in in all of our opinions, I feel like it's probably closer to 2 first in value.
Or at least like a convicted
first.
pick, like a protecting a non-playoff team. Yeah.
Correct. It has to be something really, really good because of just what he can produce for your team, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so just from that standpoint, right? Like if you were to tell me it's almost 2 first in value, whereas we're looking at maybe three first and a second for Bijan, I think I can find a first and a second between Colston Loveland and AJ Brown.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's chat a little more George Kittle.
Oh man.
So again,
this could get ugly.
This could. I'm going to let you know it's a little less ugly than you'd think, but
okay, perfect.
It is still pretty ugly. So again, we're in January. We're trying to make bets to set our teams up. We're trying to stay flexible. We're trying to, at the end of the day, make our teams better for September. But we have a long season to go. So it's about, what assets do you want to hold? How do you want to use what you do have? So I have Dynasty Daddy's trade database pulled up. You can go to dynasty-daddy.com, pull up the trade database under the players tab. I have George Kittle punched in. I have deals exclusively from January pulled up. We'll say it's 1.5 tight end premium. So not crazy heavy, right? Probably less than what we plan in most of our leagues, but it's still something. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll call it a 12 team start 10, just at a baseline.
Ooh, all right.
So are you good for the old hot seat? Keep the arms and legs and limbs in the vehicle at all times. And here we go. George Kittle or 201 and 205?
201, 205.
George Kittle or a 27 second?
27 second.
Luther Burden or George Kittle and 212?
Luther Burden or Luther Burden.
Okay. George Kittle or a 27 third and a 309?
George Kittle.
Okay. George Kittle and Nico Collins or Elijah Arroyo, Tyler Shuck and 201.
Nico Collins and George Kittle.
Pretty easy. Tyreek Hill or George Kittle and 402.
Oh God, dude, that's horrible. I will take George Kittle, I guess.
It's crazy out here. Okay, I got one more for you. Oh, I got two.
Right.
I got two more for you. Sorry, we're going to overtime. Parker Washington in a 27 second or George Kittle in a 28 second?
I'll take Parker Washington in 27 second.
I'm there with you. And then finally, George Kittle and a 2028 first or David Montgomery and Travis Etienne?
David Montgomery and Travis Etienne?
Mm-hmm.
I'll take Travis Etienne and David Montgomery.
Yeah. I think if
especially with the way that he was playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the way that Etienne was playing.
I can go either way on that one. Like, especially if I have a team that's flush on running back. Give me the first. Give me a swapping Kittle and Monty. I can eat that if I want to make the bet on Kittle. But by the way, some decent, some weird ones. Again, like you're getting a couple seconds in the inbox for George Kittle. You just probably have to take it. Couple thirds, I will pay that for George Kittle. I think that's where the line is for me. It's like a second, depending on where the second is. Like if you're telling me it's a late second, okay, I'm game to play. You're telling me it's a random 27 second though, I'll just take the 27 second just off of pure principle. Yeah. 2/3 though, definitely not. 2 seconds though, definitely taking that. And like money where our mouth is on our dog shit rebuilder in DD Fantasy Football Kings League. We tried to go out and get that George Kittle. We weren't willing to spend like a higher second, but we would send, a mid to late second for him. So hopefully we can still get one done there, JB. We would like to get some Kittle on this team, give a little bit of hope for the future of a 30-something-year-old tight end. 35-year-old tight end. Yeah. Right. We are actually putting these deals in people's inboxes. So we think you should too. If you can, roll a late second, a couple thirds into George Kittle, buy it up right now. Right. Just bet that he can be something and that you can profit later on. But that was fun. Any other things you want to talk about on George Kittle? No, man, I think we've kind of hit it on the head, right? I think at this point, aging tight end, do with that information what you will. I think for me, it's probably right around a second, just based on what he could potentially be. But the reality is that I think George Kittle's best days are behind him, which is sad to say. I think so too. But we wish you well, George. Good luck. Yep. All right. Now on to Girth Brooks, a.k.a. No Guts, No Sausage. 14 team, start 10. It's a Triflex league, Gabe. Do you have any Triflex leagues?
I do not.
I do not either. It's a little scary to have start 3 quarterbacks each week, but there's no quarterbacks in this deal, thankfully. It's a PPR, 1.5 tight end premium. You only got to start 1 running back, but it's a 0.25 rushing and receiving first down league. So Girth Brooks sends away our boy, Nico Collins, and Kyle Monangai, the fun guy. He gets back DJ Moore and Devon Achane. Clearly, Achane, I'm going to call him the best player in the deal, just from what we know. This team won the ship and is very stacked at wide receiver. He felt like Achane was just a more valuable asset in the format. He outscored Nico in the format considerably the last 2 years. So running back juice league, you only got to start 1. So I'm curious how only needing to start 1 running back may change your approach, Gabe. And then, Nico Collins and a nice piece in Kyle Monangai for DJ Moore and Devon Achane.
Yeah, so actually going back really quick to your question too about Triflex, I actually am in a Triflex league right now, where there's 12 roster spots actually that are all Triflex.
Oh, right. That's true.
Yeah,
you are.
I forgot about it. I forgot.
Best ball league.
Yes. All super flex. So basically, we could start 12 quarterbacks if we had to.
Wow.
So that's going to be an interesting one to play out. But yes, I am in 1 actually. I'm in 1 Triflex league.
Technically, yeah.
Technically. Start 1 though is very interesting. But I will say, start 1, Devon Achane is pretty comfortably. I'm okay with him being my start 1, if you will, in the format. And so, yes, I agree with no guts, no sausage. Right? I think Devon Achane is more than likely always going to outscore Nico Collins every year, right? If I had to guess, and that's that I really like Nico Collins, but just Achane just has the ability to take it to the house with any given play, right? And Miami really relies on him, especially from a receiving option, and that bodes really well, especially in this type of format. And so, for me, comfortably Achane over Nico Collins. DJ Moore's had a little bit of a resurgence, Ty. He's had a little bit of a resurgence. Now, I don't know if that's attributed to, Odunze being out and now coming, I don't know what that, is attributed to, or maybe just Caleb Williams starting to get a little bit more comfortable in the offense, or, whatever that looks like. But he has kind of stepped up a little bit. And so I think for me, depending on what the rest of the team looks like, I'm comfortable to pay this price for Devon Achane and DJ Moore. Especially, like I said, from a point scoring perspective, I think these 2 guys are going to outscore the other side every week pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. DJ Moore, Kyle Monangai, I can understand people being honest. I'll take Kyle Monangai, just going up how I want to construct my rosters, how I want to use my value. I'd rather get into Kyle Monangai there, I think, versus the DJ Moore. But yeah, he's had a bit of a resurgence. I agree. Devon Achane over Nico Collins. When you zoom out, man, like it's a 14 team Triflex. So 1 quarterback has to just be like, if you don't have your quarterback right, you're probably not right in this league. But if that means you have to start 3 quarterbacks, it's essentially a 14 team start 7 league aside from the quarterbacks. So that means my positional players, I want to make sure that they are superstars if I can. Like I need a Monstars team to really feel good. Achane fits that bill. If I only have to start 1 running back, you can probably, I'm assuming, start probably up to 3 with flexes. But if you're stacked at wide receiver, moving off Nico to get into Achane, and then if you're just worried about roster construction purposes, swapping the running back and the wide receiver in a similar range, I'm cool with it. Girth, give me Achane, give me more. I don't hate the Nico Collins common on guy side, but this is about getting into Achane.
Yeah. And how do you feel though about holding the value though at the running back position?
That's what I say I don't want to do all the time, right, Gabe? And I don't want to rely on history and previous points over the last 2 years to make my decisions today. Achane also feels like one of those guys where he still has that anytime he touches the ball, he could be in the end zone. And those kind of cats in fantasy deserve the oomph. I do think that Kyle Monangai will continue to creep up those fantasy rankings. I think Nico Collins, it was just a bit of a weird year. Hopefully our guy CJ Stroud can figure it out, right? And Nico Collins can get it going. But DJ Moore's not a bad, just another wide receiver to have, especially if you're building like a 0 wide receiver type build. It's all about Achane. So 0.25 rush receiving first down, juice to the running backs. Yeah, I don't want to hold my value there, but if I'm okay with it and I have a stacked wide receiver team, maybe moving some of that value to running back actually makes sense. Cool.
Boom.
All right. We got a couple more to hit. Let's move on. Good stuff. No guts, no sausage. Let's go on to Giles. 12 team, start 10, PPR. Nice. So Giles gives up Jake Tonjes, gives up Marvin Harrison Jr., and wide receiver 1, JSN.
Oh, baby.
I'm just asking the question because I see the other wide receiver 1 on the other side in Jamar Chase. We got Rashee Rice and Woody Marks. This is a spicy deal, a little spicy meatball. I'm going to pull up some ADP because I'm curious where actually the wide receiver ADP is right now. But talk to me. 12 by 10. You got JSN, Jamar Chase. You got Marvin Harrison and Rice. And you got Woody Marks and Jake Tonjes. I don't see a tight end premium either. So talk to me. JSN versus Chase, and then talk to me the rest of this deal.
Oh, man. JSN versus Chase is a great conversation. I think, again, for me, Ty, the biggest difference between the two, right, is going to be just the age aspect, right? You're getting obviously an age discount with JSN over Jamar Chase, but dude, Jamar Chase has been that guy every single year, man. And obviously this year was a little bit of an interesting one, and I still think he performed really well, like from a fantasy perspective. And that's that Joe Burrow wasn't in the lineup every single week either, especially with the injuries and whatnot. And so I think we have to give Chase a little bit of credit, but I feel like this is a conversation that we have like with the Trey McBride and the Brock Bowers type. It's a take your pick. It's a take your pick, man. Like, do you prefer Jamar Chase? Do you prefer JSN? Do you prefer, insert Puka Nacua? Like, do you prefer Malik Neighbor? Probably not Malik, but, Puka Nacua. Really, I think it's those three right now. It's Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, JSN. They're all kind of that tier 1 wide receiver 1, A, B, C, depending on how you look at it. It's really just a take your pick kind of guy. For me, that's hard, man. I think I'm still going to lean Jamar Chase, though. I think I'm still going to lean Jamar Chase, and I'm not trying to let the recency bias get to me. Because, again, what JSN is doing right now is what Jamar Chase has been doing, And so it's kind of one of those things where I'm going to trust the Joe Burrow of it all. I'm going to trust Joe Burrow over a Sam Darnold, right? And so maybe that's, negligent of me, or ignorant of me, but I'm gonna just take Jamar Chase 1 for 1. But it really is just a take your pick kind of guy.
Yeah. I'm looking at ADP right now. I'm just going to read off the top 6 from drafts in the last month based on Dynasty Data Labs ADP.
Okay.
Drake May, Josh Allen, Bijan Robinson, Jamar Chase, JSN, Puka, and then Gibbs. I guess we'll go 7. So we got those 3 wide receivers in that pocket. So exactly what you said. It's probably a take your pick, like pick your poison, but it is 3 elite wide receivers right now. And then you get down to, Neighbors, Amon-Ra, CD, Jefferson at like the 1-2 turn. But it's the top 3, the big 3 dogs. We got 2 of those dogs in this deal. Marvin Harrison Jr. versus Rashee Rice. The only reason this is a conversation is because Rice is a knucklehead. Even with the knucklehead tax, I'm still taking Rice, honestly. And then Woody Marks or Jake Tonjes. Yeah, it's Jake Tonjes is a thing because he stepped up when Kittle went down and he's still in that offense. I'm taking my guy Woodrow Marks though. Give me the Texan.
It's a clean sweep for you.
It is a clean sweep for me.
I love it.
You can take your pick, Chase or JSN. I don't really care. If someone wants to give me value to take one of those guys, you can have them. I'll take Rice over Marv. I'll take Marks over Tonjes.
Smash. I don't have any disagreements with that. At all. And to your point, yes, Rashee Rice versus Marvin Harrison Jr. is only a conversation because of the allegations and the, everything that's going on legally with him right now. If that was aside, it would not even be a conversation. Like it would not even be close, especially what Rashee Rice was doing out there in Kansas City. So Jake Tonjes though. Sneakily a guy that I'm trying to get, Ty, if I can get him for, an affordable price, if you will. He's been really good, man, in San Francisco. I will give him his flowers. He's been very, very good. He's been a good option for Brock Purdy. And so in those leagues where, we do need that do have tight end premiums and different things like that, or where I need, a best ball tight end or whatever. Like, he's a guy that I'm definitely looking to see if I can get my hands on. Woody Marks I've been impressed as a Texans fan as well. Like, despite the struggles of the offensive line, despite the struggles of CJ Stroud, like, he's been a good shining point for us. Like, even in the playoff game this past week, I think he had over 70 rushing yards, and like, he was still pretty productive, man, despite Stroud's inefficiency. So I've been really, really impressed with Woody Marks. But yeah, clean sweep for me as well, my friend.
I think the big thing for Marks is like the injuries just kept kind of nagging at him. Like, I don't think he had many games where he finished healthy at the end of the day, right? So it was a bit frustrating there, but I think the opportunity should be there. They could definitely draft someone and we could feel different, but he's a decent running back. I will take the running back on a 53 over a tight end on a 53 where I can replace that position. Hell of a lot easier with no information on the tight end premium. But hey, we got 2 more deals. Let's get to these. So
let's do it.
First one. Milk was a bad choice. 12 team, start 10, super flex, PPR, tight end premium. Thor 2210, aka Milk was a bad choice, sends away Emeka Ibuka 103 and 206. Gets back Lamar Jackson 110 and a 2027 third. Gabe, our guy Emeka Ibuka.
Fall from grace, man. Fall from grace.
Greatest wide receiver ever for a couple weeks in the start of the season. People got healthy. Baker got hurt. The offense just kind of became a little bit more muddied as the season went on.
Yep.
Who knows what 2026 and beyond holds for Ibuka? He's probably a safe receiver. Is he the best receiver in Dynasty? Probably not, right? So where does reality fall for him? 103 and 26 involved for a deal for Lamar Jackson, 110 and a 27 third. We got to play some cross-off games here. But it's going to be hard, right? Because a lot of these things don't really mash up. So,
yeah,
I don't know, Gabe. Like, where do you even start here? Like Lamar Jackson and for Ibuka, like the 103 is a big piece. It's hard to kind of mesh out with the 110 and a third. So, really, Lamar Jackson to Ibuka. Where do you want to prioritize? And then how do you balance out 1-3 and 110?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, though, Ty, it's still 3 assets, right? Like, it's still 3 assets kind of laterally. And so I think for me, man, I'm going to take miles ahead. I'm going to take Lamar Jackson over the 103. But on the flip side of that, I'm going to take Ibuka over the 110, right?
Yes.
I think for me, though, the delta is a lot closer from Ibuka to the 110 than it is to Lamar Jackson in the 103. Like,
oh yeah.
So even if we were to combine those 2 picks together, right, Lamar Jackson in the 110 for Ibuka in the 1-3, I'm going to take Lamar Jackson pretty comfortably. The 27 third and the 206 doesn't really matter. Yes, I'm going to take the 206 because it's this year, but it doesn't move the needle enough for me in a 12 by 10. I want hammers, and I'm still buying into the fact that Lamar Jackson is a hammer. And so give me the Lamar Jackson side, man. This was actually a good choice in my opinion by the Milk.
Milk might not have been, but this was a good one.
Yeah.
This time of year, I do like to tune into what startup ADP is saying, so we know where the market generally is. And I mean, Lamar Jackson 110 right now, the lowest I've ever seen Lamar Jackson in a startup.
That is crazy.
Yeah, 110 for Lamar Jackson. We got Emeka Ibuka down at pick 44, so that's like mid 4th round. 103 following shortly behind Emeka Ibuka. So Ibuka still going over 103. That's interesting. I'll bet that 103 climbs over Ibuka as we move through the offseason.
Yeah.
But let me scroll down. Oh, there's 110 in the 9th round, 99th overall. One of these things isn't like the other. I agree. I'll take 2-6 over a third pretty handily, but that's not the reason I'm doing a deal. End of the day, give me Lamar Jackson. Give me the cheap Lamar Jackson this time of year.
110 is absolutely crazy. I mean, we I guess at this point don't really engage in any snake drafts very often anymore.
No.
We normally do startup auctions, so I'm not really comfortable or not really familiar, if you will, with the snake ADP, if you will. But 110 is absolutely crazy for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
who goes above him?
So again, Allen, May, Bijan, Chase, JSN, Puka, Gibbs, Jaden Daniels, Trey McBride.
Interesting.
Trey McBride over Brock Bowers, who is right behind Lamar Jackson.
I said you could take your pick. Give me anything on top, and I will comfortably give you Brock Bowers if that was the case. Lo and behold, Trey McBride is tight end 1 right now.
You can go and look at those YouTube shorts for the receipts. We've been here on Trey McBride, so you simply love to see it. You simply love to see that one there. Milk was a bad choice, so good work. Keep making good choices. All right, let's finish it off here with our guy Vapad. All gas trade show, premium gas league. We went over this one on the Dynasty Deal Show, but I want to bring it for you to have your flowers here to talk about this one. So 14 teams, start 11, best ball. You got to start 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, only 2 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. You have 2 flexes. It's a tiered PPR, 1 for running backs, 1.25 for wide receivers, 2.0 for tight ends. There's point per carry, juice to the running backs and the tight ends. Vapad here was looking for a specific deal to move off of his 101 on his team that has all the picks in the world. He has 6 27 firsts. He has 6 picks in the 26 draft after this deal. And not a lot of players on the roster, but he has a lot of picks. So Vapad, send away 101. He got 108, 28 first, and Dalton Schultz. With our guy Bad Moon Rising. So Gabe, I want to hear just your general thoughts on this. Again, we went over this on Dynasty Deal Show, and we can talk about it more after, but how did you feel when you saw this one come across the timeline?
I thought it was a very spicy deal. I thought it was a very, very spicy deal. Look, I will start by saying the All Gas Trade Show is very unique because just the format itself, the scoring format itself as well. And running backs are hard as shit to get, man. Running backs are so difficult to get. But you know, when we talk about rookie drafts, right? The pick value, the pick number itself, in my opinion, has more value than the actual player, right? So once that 101 becomes Love, whoever you decide to take with it, which is probably will be Love, but once it becomes Love, that's more so tied to like a specific asset, right? And so it tends to decrease in value a little bit, right? Especially over time as you kind of move through, you know, them starting to play, them starting to practice, because you actually have something that you can attach and tether to that player, if you will. I think for me, man, in a 14-team best ball, I love to lean multiple assets, right? And so you're moving back, yes. You're moving back 7 spots in the rookie draft, which obviously we kind of talked about already, where there is a gap. I think that gap is right around 105, where I'm starting to probably look to next year. That being said, though, Vapad has all the damn picks in 2026 as well. So I think that's also something that I'm trying to keep in mind, right? So he may not get the quote unquote best deal or best asset in the rookie draft. But Ty, how many times, man, do we think the best asset ends up not being the best asset, if you will?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, there was a point in time where, and again, obviously now it's maybe flipped a little bit, but hell, Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors. It was Marvin Harrison over Malik Neighbors. Yep. Well, behold, it's Malik Neighbors now over Marvin Harrison, right? Caleb Williams was over Jaden Daniels. All last year, though, it was Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams, you know? So again, I think for me, the values tend to shift, right? And I think that's where once you assign a name to these picks, that's where it can start to decrease a little bit for you in value. 28, man, I mean, again, having the arsenal that Vapad has is really where I want to start to kind of push the can out a little bit, right? That way he's not having to make 12 picks in this class, because I think he would have had 12 first in this class or I guess like 11 or 10. But for me, 108, 28 first, and Dalton Schultz, on paper, I feel like it's maybe not enough value to get to the 101. But given the format, given the arsenal of picks that Vapad has, and once you assign players or names to these players, I'm going to take the multiple asset side, especially because Dalton Schultz is also taking a step forward in the Texans offense.
Yeah. Because I don't know if you had a deal in your inbox. I had a similar deal where it was my 27 first, my 28 first, and J.K. Dobbins for 101. And I hemmed and hawed, right? I thought it was a fair deal to send. Again, it was the deal structure that Vapad was looking for. Mm-hmm. And I think if Vapad is able to do that same deal structure down the line for a bunch of picks, he's going to build out a team, right? It's going to be nice. Me personally, I just didn't want to play with my future picks. I didn't want to pay future league saves right now. Like, I'd rather just kind of keep that in the back pocket and not, put myself right back on the hot seat after not having my pick all year and having Vapad dangled out of my head for a good part of the season. Vapad's team. So he has 105, 16, 18, 19, 110, 113, 21, some thirds. Got 6 27 firsts and now 2 28 firsts.
He kind of corners Bad Moon Rising a little bit too.
Bad Moon Rising has a great team though.
He does.
Really
he does.
nice.
He does. Yeah.
And he has 101 now in the back pocket. So yes, he does. Right. But again, time heals all wounds. Right. So time is on Vapad's side here. It's a 25-man roster best ball league. Right. So you got to be mindful of how many picks you have to how many roster spots you have and how that all balances out. All I know, Gabe, running back in this league is something else. So, I don't know if there's the right price for 101. I don't know if I would sell my 101 in January. I might try to hold that a little bit, but I think we kind of know what 101 is going to be this year, and the price is the price is the price. So, what we know in the league, I'll take 101, but I get why Vapad did this. This is the deal that Vapad wanted. I think this is the most that Vapad was going to get for this deal structure this time of year.
Yeah, again, I think it's a good trade, man. It really is a good trade. I think it just, for me, Vapad at the end of the day also needs to start filling out some roster spots, right? And so sometimes you got to make decisions, man, where you have to start splitting assets. And I think this was a good split, like I said. And I think it also, yes, Bad Moon Rising does have a good team, but you also do take a little bit of leverage away from Bad Moon Rising in the future. If anything does end up happening to Love or, any of his other team or whatever it is, again, you can kind of, you start to corner somebody a little bit more.
Got to break a few eggs to make an omelet, right? So
I like that.
Yeah, I definitely just came up with that myself, Gabe. Absolutely. That was it, man. Hey, All Gas Trade Show in the books. Felt nice to take a couple weeks just to recalibrate, reset, take a look at everything and come back a little bit stronger, a little bit more creative, a little bit of renewed energy. Anything else you got going on this week? Anything you're trying to do in your leagues or anything else you got for the people?
No, I'm trying to finish up this auction that I'm in right now. And let me just tell the people, take your time. Don't rush into joining all the orphans and all the startups. There's plenty of time for that in the next couple of months. And so take a breather, enjoy some football right now. And I'm hoping, Ty, that the Texans can beat the Patriots this weekend.
That'd be nice. We'll see. My money is not on the Texans, but it'd be nice if that did happen. This is fun. I agree. We got a long offseason ahead of us. Don't burn yourself out in January. Don't push all your league safe chips in the middle so you can't have fun at the club while everyone else is having a time. But I'm excited to join some new leagues, to be creative, to find some new deals, some new partnerships, play with some new people. But this has been fun. The DDFFB people are going to be making moves all off season. So head in there, patreon.com/allgas gets you in the door. And you're in the Discord, head on over to the All Gas Trade Show channel. Drop your trades in there. Give as much context as you can. We'll hit as many trades as we can every week. DDFantasyfootball.com for all the tools to dominate your league. Go check out the new facelift on the site. Go sign up for a free account. Get your ADP rolling for these rookie drafts. YouTube, get on that Trades and Chills here. $3.99 a month. Gets you access to all the live stuff we got going on here. Gabe, I love you, man. Hope you have a good weekend. Good luck to the Texans. Good luck to your team if you have your team in the playoffs right now. We love y'all. We out of this thing. Peace.